What's over, everybody, and welcome to Havdalah Happy Hour here on the Bethel Podcast Network and broadcasting live on Bethel Congregation's YouTube channel. I'm Ben.
I'm Jill.
I'm Emily.
Jeremy.
And Shavua Tov, friends.
Shavua Tov. Ben, are you happy that you have your paper back?
I am happy that I have the paperback. I think I did okay last time. It wasn't perfect. I acknowledge that, but now it will be.
It was great. I was very proud.
Definitely a creature of habit. I like to have my things.
I hear that.
B minus.
I'll take it. I'll take it. I will take the B minus.
You know, I get it. You say something regularly, but you still want to have it. It's
I'm
like, I
better
don't
at
like
other
davening
things.
without a siddur.
Well,
You
right.
shouldn't,
Well, also the
actually.
tradition encourages you not to do
For
that,
sure.
right?
But what
For
if
many
you
reasons.
don't have one?
Well,
and you
that's
need
bad.
to daven.
Then you do your best.
Why do you not have one, though, is my question. I carry one everywhere all the time.
I have one in my
course
trunk.
you
Actually,
do.
I guess there's probably
Yeah.
one on my phone.
I have an app on
Unless
my
it's
phone.
dry,
When
I
I
wouldn't
travel,
wanna-
I have my travel siddur that
Right.
comes with me and my
Right.
travel talis and my travel tefillin.
Right.
So all those things come with me so that I am not in such a situation.
And if you arrive somewhere and you don't have one, then there's Amazon.
That's right. There's always Amazon.
Speaking of Amazon,
Not a sponsor.
Do you have an Amazon story, Jill?
well, I have a funny Amazon story. So I bought a couple of these. They were like called boots for my water bottle, and they didn't match my water bottle, so I was sending them back. And Ben Crusher was like, "Oh, I'm going to Staples. I'll take them back for you." And they're still in his desk.
Sitting
Wait.
100% of my desk.
Boots, do they look like boots or
They
are they like the
don't look like
cozies?
boots.
Rubber, it's like a little
Cup.
rubber cup that goes on the bottom of my water bottle.
And what is the purpose of it, though?
Well, the purpose of it, I think, is so it's not like loud when you put your water bottle down because it's made of a loud material. But also, I've dropped it a couple times, so it has dents in the bottom of it, and it doesn't sit properly. So with the boot, it doesn't wobble.
Okay,
But
so
How-
it's
another
not the
one.
same thing you put around like your can
It's
or
similar.
your
It's
cup
similar,
or something.
but it's silicone.
Got it.
What is the volume of your water bottle?
24 ounces.
24 ounces. Is that more or less than a gallon?
Well,
this is math. I don't do it.
Less. And that's
This is less than a gallon
that's
also.
16
Well, that I think I
ounces.
figured.
It's a water bottle.
It's like it's a 1.5 of those. The 16 plus 8.
How much is your water bottle?
I don't know.
You don't know? Jeremy, you don't have one, and I,
mean,
don't
this,
have one.
This plastic one that I have.
No,
is-
I meant like, you have a
Yeah, I have my big one I left at home.
momish one.
I think it's
No.
like 30.
Now,
ounce.
mind you,
don't
I
know.
have many, but I don't drink a ton of water, which is not great. And David always tries to get me to drink more water.
I keep telling myself I need to get one, and then much like the boots that are still on my
Right.
Be cautious, though, because years ago, I was encouraged strongly to get one and to buy into this trend that's out there. And I bought one, which was cute. You fill it up in the morning. It's with you all day. But the biggest challenge that I had was at the end of the day trying to wash them out.
Oh, yeah.
They're not easy, especially if you get one that has a smaller neck at the
They make
top.
those
that's
like
why I don't get
pellets
those.
to
I
clean
have
them.
that, and you put it in and you shake it
Yeah.
really good with really warm water.
But it was just the time that it would take for doing that. I said, those plastic water bottles, back in the day, I used to take 3 or 4 of them with me throughout the day. And
Oh,
I
sure.
would drink them. But
Yeah, we had them littered all over the park because especially on hot. in
That's
the
why
summertime.
I'm very particular about the water bottles that I use. They have to have like the wide top, and
Mhm.
I don't like the
Need
plastic
a
straws
handle.
because I get like nervous about the plastic straws. They have to be the metal ones. You can clean those. They have things. And
about 10
Yes.
years ago, the majority of these water bottles went to a thin cap.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm
Mhm.
talking Where
Yeah.
the cap is so much
Yeah.
thinner.
You can just sort of like flick it off.
Well, no, you can barely
Yeah.
open it. They're not the thick caps that are on water. But this whole water bottle thing makes no sense to me. My kids, particularly, they carry these water bottles around with
Right.
them, and they go to school with them. They go to all their activities with them. They go in the car with them. I feel like when we were kids, we'd just stand in line at
Garden
the water
hose.
fountain.
Garden
Absolutely.
hose.
Right,
Correct.
garden hose
Right.
outside.
Right.
But
thirsty, go to the
Yeah.
water
right,
fountain,
and at
hydrate.
if you went in between classes, there was a line at the water fountain.
Yeah, there
I
was.
was telling this to my son recently. He's 13, and I was telling him, like, when we were kids, we didn't have water bottles. Nobody carried a water bottle. It wasn't a thing. It
Right.
blew his mind. He's like, that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. And then he was like
He's too
researching
good for a garden
that.
hose.
He was like researching that in
With, like,
ancient
dirt
Roman
and
times
bugs when
they
you-
had
It was
canteens.
fine,
I'm like,
fine.
I don't care if they had canteens in ancient Roman times. We didn't carry water bottles.
Yeah, but we're also not part of like the 13th Roman Legion marching through Gaul. Like that's not your average Roman citizen did not carry.
Correct.
I don't think they had
canteen.
water in them
Right.
either.
But probably not. Yeah, that's also likely.
Right.
But no, we would stand in line at the water fountain, and
Mm.
whatever illness or sickness the kid in front of you or kids in front of you had, you would then
You got it
get, and
too.
that was
And
life.
you
Right.
got like 3 seconds to drink.
Not right.
They had to
the-
count.
yeah.
They would
Like
count.
2,
Well, there
Or
was
that.
peer
Switch.
pressure
Right.
because everyone behind you would be
Yeah, but,
banging
hurry it
and
up.
hurry up, hurry up.
Like you're in jail or
And then you
something.
also had to get like to class. Like, you know, it
Right.
wasn't a lot of time. As far as fads go, though, water bottles is not my favorite fad.
Mm-mm.
What's everybody's favorite fad?
I don't know. You threw me.
That's
threw
a
us under the bus
question.
with
I know. I
that.
just threw you a loop.
I don't know. Name a few facts.
I loved me some Pogs.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
loved
Pogs were
me some
definitely
Pogs.
fun.
Was a great fad.
I missed the pod
Jeremy?
phase, I think.
Garbage pail kids.
Uh-huh.
Remember
That
those
also.
collectible cards?
Sure.
Did you have those?
No, I'm considerably older than all of
I wouldn't
you.
say
No, you're not.
considerably.
Not me.
Slightly.
How
Not that
old?
much.
You don't want to do this.
What
on
is
the-
age,
on the air,
Jill?
do
What
you?
is time? Doesn't matter. What's your
Are
favorite
you
fad?
Gen X?
I don't know what that means.
Stop changing the topic and give me your favorite fad.
I like Lisa Frank.
Okay.
I was all over Lisa Frank. It was so pretty. And
Scratch
she's
and
from
sniff
Tucson,
stickers?
Arizona.
What did you ask me?
Stickers.
Am I
Stickers
what?
is a
Are
big
you
fad.
Gen X?
Jen, I think I'm an Ashkenazi.
Yeah.
Ben's half and
Stickers. Stickers were a big
half.
fad.
Sticker books, Cabbage Patch dolls.
That was big.
I
strawberry
remember.
shortcake where the hair smelled
And
like
they smelled like strawberry.
Yeah, those were
You guys
nice.
know my thing about dolls. All dolls are evil. I'm
I
not
had a
into
lot
any
of
of
treasure
that.
G.I. Joe.
trolls.
G.I. Joe.
G.I.
I
Joe.
like
Okay,
G.I.
fine.
Joe,
So I had
that
big
was-
Cobra. Remember
Go
Cobra?
Joe, of course.
Freaky Freezy gloves.
You know, as far as also comic
You know,
book villains
well, you live in
go,
Arizona also.
Cobra
Yeah.
Commander, I think, is mostly misunderstood. I'm going to say it.
Jeremy, did you have Freaky Freezy gloves?
I don't know what that
I don't
is.
even
What
know
is
what
that?
those are.
See, I'm
Tell me what
old.
it is.
They were these gloves that you would wear, and when you would put them on in the winter and go outside, and it was cold, the tops would change.
Color?
Like
color
a
changing.
scene would come on them or something. I'm
Oh.
gonna Google it.
That's fun.
I'm
and then maybe we
intrigued
can
by
post a
that.
picture when we.
Absolutely.
But I'm sure a lot of our listeners, Mom, you remember I had Freaky Freezy.
I would like Pogs to come back. And yeah, my brother had like a great Pog collection.
What are Pogs?
I think they're called milk caps is like their
They're
traditional name.
They're the thing now the kids put on their shoes. On
No.
their
that's not
they're
Pogs.
round like
They were
Big
they're
coins.
called
They were
milk
bigger
caps.
versions of
They were
them.
And they were like made
coins.
of like not quite a cardboard, but like a
like woodish.
but like a
maybe
very
bamboo.
thinner.
Like a poker chip almost. If it
It
was
was the same
what-
size as a
right.
poker
with
chip.
pretty pictures.
With designs on them, and it could be a lot of things. And then you had the slammer, which was
Slammers,
like a metal
yes.
one. And so to play the Pogs, you would put all the Pogs you had. They came in like a tube. You know those mini M&M tubes? It came in like a tube just like that.
like Pringles.
Yeah, it was smaller though.
Yeah.
And you would stack up your Pogs, and then the slammer you would throw on top, and the Pogs would go everywhere. And then whichever ones landed face up, you got to keep, right? And you would do this with all your friends. So
you
it's a
make the
form
other
of
kids cry.
playground gambling, right? To
Right.
supplement the playground economy.
Of course. And the hierarchy
Correct.
on the playground.
Yeah. That was good times though.
Did you
Pogs
guys
was
have
fun.
Lisa Frank out here?
Yes.
Because
I don't know
she
what
was
that
from
is.
Tucson, so
Yeah.
I didn't know how far like
What
the
does she
trend-
do?
Did she
Like
used to work
pretty-
at Bethel?
Different Lisa
Actually,
Frank. Actually, I know there is a Lisa Frank.
I was
going to
say I think there is.
but
Wasn't there?
she
Bless
drew
you,
like
Olivia.
Bless you.
pretty bright colored psychedelic
Yes.
pictures of
Yes.
animals and
unicorns and
aliens and
Yeah, I'll Google that also.
I
yeah,
am not familiar.
Big trend
yeah.
in the
Yeah.
late 90s.
It just came up. He knows we're talking about it. Lisa Frank.
I've never heard of this.
Loved the stickers and the folders. And
Did you have the
notebooks.
sticker book?
I did not have a sticker book, but I know other people that
I think
did.
all of the girls in my grade
I had stickers.
a sticker book.
Yeah.
That was a little after me, I think.
It's like
the sticker books.
Oh
I
no, I can't
know.
handle that. That's not for me.
Bright
No.
colors.
But I remember that like there were different kinds of stickers, right? There was like the regular stickers, and there were like the furry stickers with different textures,
Or like
and then the oily ones.
Yes, you push on them.
Yeah,
And
they were like had like
Right.
goo in them or whatever it was.
Puffy. We call them puffy stickers.
Puffy is all right. I thought we called them oily stickers, but I couldn't.
The scented ones.
It was a long time
some
ago.
smelled good.
Yeah.
Some were
Yep.
disgusting.
Uh-huh.
I did have a great sticker book collection back in the day.
Yeah, I bet you did. I could see that.
Fly. Back in the late 70s.
What a time!
None
Rabbi
of you were
Schwartz
born.
says that the 70s was like the best time to be alive.
I was born in 71, so I was only alive for 9 of those years, but
It's most of
it was
them.
fun. Right. But like, I don't remember the first
He
few.
says, he said, was it him? I think that I asked him one time, I was like, what's so great about the 70s besides the music? And I was like, and then I asked him to describe it to me. He says, there was a lot of brown in the 70s. And, I think that's true. Like brown suits you see from like TV shows of the time.
Sofas,
Sofas were brown, the
carpet.
shag carpet.
That was the style. It
Yeah,
was
for sure.
which actually, if you go south of where we are right now on the main road that we would have turned off, there's a big brown couch that someone dumped on the side of the road.
Oh.
If you come out of the location where we're recording tonight, and if you make a right, as soon as you
Okay.
come out, and just go down that road,
Just to
go,
keep going
go,
straight?
go through the first traffic light, and where it starts to, you'll see.
Is it a nice looking couch?
I slowed down to
Go
look.
pick it
We
up.
could use something
We'll
in the
get the truck. We'll
basement.
go-
Probably bed bugs.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's that I know we're not at the Shonda yet, but that's that's going to be my Shonda only because I saw it last night when I was
And
driving.
like wood paneled walls.
I love all wood paneling.
Hello.
Almost all of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Wood paneling.
But this used to be part of a chapel.
This was
a
actually
chapel.
the Bema.
Yeah, well, right. So the ark was there.
Oh,
This was
really?
slightly raised a little
I know.
bit. Yep.
For
And,
for our listeners, we're recording in Ben's
yeah.
basement tonight.
right,
by the way.
right, yeah. Where Bethel had its chapel for many
Right.
years. Yeah, this was the Bluefeld Chapel. That's right. Yeah.
So my basement actually, which was not built in the 70s, has wood paneling.
That's right. It does.
It's very weird.
But I do. I love wood
I'll have to
paneling.
come
Although
check that out.
Yeah.
the wood
Do
paneling,
you have a
I
chapel in your
prefer
basement also?
Always, obviously.
Are
I do
like
have
that
stained glass
Doesn't.
windows.
mahogany, like those dark, like they call it dark academia, I think is the aesthetic, and that's like my favorite. But like that mahogany wood paneling, like that dark wood,
Mhm.
I'm really into that. Love
So,
it.
funny story about my basement and / Amazon. So, the stairs down to our basement are very, very like scratchy, bumpy, very uncomfortable if you're not wearing shoes.
They're wood,
They're-
not carpet.
They're not carpet and they're not wood. They're like this plaster.
My grandma had
Weird.
this like
It's-
these runners in her house that were like
So-
sticky, like, and you
So
couldn't
that's
wear
the,
shoes in the house. It
So
was
we
awful.
put these like carpet things you order on Amazon and you put them on each stair and it makes it so it doesn't scratch your feet when you're walking. But then after a couple of months, they pulled up and one of my kids actually tripped and fell down the stairs, but they're fine. They're fine. They're fine. So we pulled all of them up because better to be uncomfortable than to fall down the stairs.
True.
And so we ordered an actual like carpet runner to go down the stairs that we're going to have installed that we asked exactly what to buy and we were told which one to order. And it was supposed to arrive 2 weeks ago. On Amazon, it said arriving 2 weeks ago. And then the day before it was supposed to come, they changed the date to the next week. I'm like, okay, fine, 1 more week. And then they changed the date again to like 2 weeks from now. So I don't know if they actually have it or they're just like playing us.
That's like
but
my driver's license, which never came.
It still hasn't come?
No,
I don't know what's
eventually came.
happening.
It took over a month.
You should cancel the order and then reorder
It was
again.
the last one. So now I'm wondering if they actually had it or they lost it.
I
but
would
it was the
cancel
last
the
one.
order and take your losses because it doesn't sound
Yeah.
like this is coming.
Might have to just get a piece of strip of carpet and put it on. But
Yeah.
There might be some in deep storage.
I've never been down there yet.
Really?
Oh.
And I heard it's an adventure.
It's a fun time. I love deep storage.
I heard it like the first 4 years I worked here. I just heard about deep storage.
You've been though, right?
Now I've
Yeah.
been. Yes. It's
Jeremy, you've been to deep storage?
No comment.
No comment. All
Sounds
right.
like a field trip.
we could go. We could go on a
sure.
field trip to deep storage. It's a fun time.
Yeah, definitely. So I have a cold, and it took a lot for me to admit that because I don't get colds. I just don't ever get colds. And
I'm really sad for you, Jill.
I'm very sad for me. My whole family. They
Just
get
be
colds.
lucky that it's
Everyone
not
gets
whatever it
colds.
was that I
know,
had.
I know.
Well, this is only night 1.
Which
No,
I'm
this
convinced
is
now at
actually
this point was
day
consumption.
3.
Oh, so it's not getting worse though.
It's not getting worse.
Okay. You do sound horrible
I
today.
know.
Yesterday, I couldn't have told,
And-
but today I was like, yep,
Yeah.
she's
I
sick.
was trying so hard to convince David that I didn't have a cold because I don't get colds.
No, David, it's
I'm
allergies.
fine. I don't have a cold. He's like, oh my God. And they're like, my kids, they think it's hilarious.
Actually, can you move? I'm trying to get out of something in a couple of days,
But
and
I'm
the
on, like,
time.
day
Can you
3, so
sit
chances
closer to
are I
me?
was contagious before. I don't know. But I was thinking this morning, it is just a cold. And when did we stop testing for COVID?
I don't know, but it sounds
I don't
like
know,
we
but
need to
why'd you
share
bring
a
it up?
drinking fountain at this
Yeah,
point.
right, exactly. No, because like it's like true. Like remember, like 5 years
I
ago.
can tell you, we officially stopped testing for COVID on January 21st.
That's true, very true. But like, think about it. 3 years ago, anyone with a cold would rush. I know this is not COVID.
Yeah, it's
know.
true.
Oh,
we
you
would
would have
rush to
stayed.
get a
You
COVID
wouldn't
test.
even be allowed to come in.
But I also ethically would not have
Right.
if I didn't know. But I just, it's like it hit me. Like some people they just get colds.
You know,
Yes.
Don't even think about.
Do you know one of the greatest hacks that we found during COVID? And for our listeners who are, it will make sense if you're in the Pikesville area. But there's a synagogue that's located on the other side of the Beltway, right at the Beltway in Stevenson Road.
I've heard of it.
And yes, they had a COVID testing whole thing
You sure did.
set up on their parking lot. And can I tell you, it was the most efficient operation that I've ever encountered in that situation. You drive, and I think you needed an appointment, or maybe you just got there right. We were lined up before, but it was so efficient. You drive right up, and within an hour, you got a result. You got a text message back, and it was another organization that was running it, but it was on the parking lot of the synagogue right off the Beltway, and I feel like it was the best kept secret. It was never crowded.
great.
Do you know
Wow.
what?
Yeah, absolutely. I went to the one that was off. It was like Reisterstown Road. If you're going down Reisterstown Road,
Slade?
you either make a left on Slade or the right on Milford Mill.
Mm.
So, like, instead of going to 7 Slade, you make a right.
For you.
Bless you. Oh,
I
geez.
got your
Oh,
call. No, this is
man.
great. This is great. Come closer. Here, let me have a sip of that. What do
Would
you?
you like to use my microphone?
Do not drink out of that.
And it was right on the right. But I remember
I'm gonna tell Nurse Jill.
in the winter.
It's not our event that we have this weekend. I'm trying to get out of. It's something else with my
I'm
wife.
trying to think like
Uh-huh.
what else is coming up, but it must be a family.
It's a
issue.
family.
Yeah.
In the winter, you would stand outside for hours. And you had COVID, and you didn't feel.
I
good,
remember.
And you were standing.
But mine was in your car though. It was
Right.
incredible. Did they even test where you were?
They did, but just because of the setup of the city, we had to go all the way downtown, and it was hot, and we'd have to stand in lines in the
Is
heat.
Tucson a big city? I have
It's
no.
spread out.
Like-
There's not a lot of. It's not dense. It's very spread out, and the testing stations were not close to where we lived, and because they didn't want people to, be inside together that might have COVID, they
Right.
were standing outside in heat in long lines, and it was definitely uncomfortable.
And then there was one here at Sinai that you drove through at Pimlico racetrack that you drove through also.
I heard that it was definitely better
And-
put together out here.
And I remember that
I don't like talking about
To
it.
get-
I don't like to remember that. It was
to
a
get
terrible
into a
time.
doctor's
It was.
office,
It
you
was
had
for
to
sure.
prove that you didn't have COVID.
Yeah.
In order to get an appointment with the doctor for something else,
But-
which was weird.
But this setup they had on our side of Pikesville was
It was
incredible. It was like never crowded. You go in, it was efficient. They were friendly, and
Yeah, very.
you stay in your car. It was great.
Roll your window down, they swab you, and off you go.
Off you go, and then an hour later, you get a text message.
Yay or nay? Did
Ugh.
you ever had COVID? You
I
never tested positive for COVID.
I made it probably about 2 years, and finally got it when the kids got it.
Uh-huh.
My wife had it once, if not twice prior, being in the health industry. But even when she had it, we stayed in room together. I slept next to her, and I just never got, assuming that I would get it, but I never did.
Did you ever have it?
I got COVID at the end of December 2020, right before the shots became available for teachers. It was awful timing.
What about you?
I never tested positive for COVID.
But you're not. You might or might not have. Who
A lot of people. I mean, who knows? I
Right.
mean, like
I think a lot of people. How could I sleep this close to and not get, like you? Just some people didn't have symptoms.
Yeah.
okay,
Right,
it's
that's
conspiracy
true.
theory time. No,
Oh,
just kidding.
here we
I'm
go.
kidding, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I had
Next-
I had one.
I'm not going to
Next
bring up
week.
these conspiracy theories
Yeah,
from
I had it
COVID,
once.
especially with the recent confirmation hearings.
Yeah, exactly.
On that note, guess what, guys?
Oh, Shonda of the week.
I
All
may
right.
as well go first.
Yeah, you might as
'cause
well go first. We got a little sneak peek.
People who dump bulk trash.
Is it bulk trash? See, I thought you were going to go in a different direction. I thought you were going to say people who throw away perfectly good furniture on the side of the road.
I'm gonna go with dumping
bulk trash. Got it.
dumping trash on the side of the road, dumping it on private property. Back many, many, many years ago, during my prior career in law enforcement, that was one of my pet peeves. And the area,
Is it a crime?
It is definitely a crime. It is a big crime, and in the area where
Littering.
Crime.
and
Big littering.
yes, big littering, and in the area where I was a patrol officer, we would get that a lot, especially on the overnight shift, where and we all see them when we're out driving around. You see these pickup trucks that are stacked up. There's
Sanford and Sons. Remember that?
exactly something very similar, and a lot of these trucks would end up in the area of the city where I was a patrol officer late at night, and oftentimes we'd catch them.
What's the fine for that?
I can't remember what the fine was, but it's an arrestable offense as
Yeah.
well. But what we would do is we would first make them pick up everything. And then once they picked up all of the tires or the trash that they dumped, then we would take enforcement, whether that was a ticket or something
I don't
else.
know what I, as you know, often go with Michael to the dump to get rid of
I've
a
heard.
lot of the stuff here at Bethel, and it's a great time. I love going to the dump. I got to tell you, there's nothing more satisfying than taking like a big desk and shoving it off into the valley of the trash, watching it shatter everywhere. It's super fun to watch, and it's super fun to do.
The amount of times I would be riding around and just see someone's window open and
That
trash
bothers me.
come out. And I mean, again, same thing. We'd pull them over, write a ticket for that.
We used to get it at the fort. A lot of people would like,
And they don't even think.
I would say, really, in a national
Right.
park,
It's
and I would look at them, and they would pick it up, and they would feel guilty.
No, I
They
get it if
should.
you have actual food. If it's a food, but
multiple trash cans.
I'll give you two things that are one, banana peels are still trash. An animal's not going to eat that. And the other thing that I feel like people don't really think about, cigarette butts.
Oh yeah,
That is
Gross.
littering.
It's gross.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's also disgusting.
The banana peels,
Yeah.
though, that's a good thing to have in Mario Kart.
A little bit
So-
different.
All right,
Yeah,
I'm
but it's
out.
good,
That
it's
was my
good.
Shonda.
All right, Emily, you're up.
So my Shonda is restaurants that take reservations but then are closed when you go at the
Oh.
reservation time.
Closed.
Closed.
Not just the
So-
table's not available. Closed.
Correct. Yes, I went out to dinner the other night with some friends, and they had made a reservation at a restaurant. And when we arrived, the restaurant was closed.
Huh.
So we went to the restaurant next door, and it was lovely and wonderful, but
That's
just
not
weird.
what-
Like, don't take a reservation if you're not going to be open.
So
I
this
can't
is
wait to hear details
not
offline.
my
Yeah.
Shonda, but I
But-
once had an experience. It was a hotel reservation, and I got there, and they said, "Oh, we don't have that room." I was like, "Then why did I make the reservation? Like, what is
Right.
the point of me having made a reservation?"
Yeah, that's worse.
Oh, blah, 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 blah. I was like, no, blah, 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 blah. I made a reservation. That means reserve. You
Yep.
reserve the room. So why is it not here? And then they gave me some sad sob story. I was like, all right, well, you're going to give me another one, but I'm going to pay the same rate as I was going to pay.
Yeah.
And it was a whole thing. But eventually my angry
One of my pet peeves in
traveling
life
got me, but
is if I have a reservation for anything.
Mhm.
I give a 5 minute. I get it.
Valid.
Give 5 minutes.
Sure.
But then after that, I go crazy.
yeah, because what's the point? You made
Why-
the reservation.
And it happens more times than not.
Oh, yeah, a
That
lot.
restaurant's not where we're going tomorrow night, is it?
No.
Okay. All right. Sorry. Moving
I don't
on.
know where we're going, but no.
Okay.
All right. Well, my Shonda also is restaurant related. I, the other day, went in, I was craving, and I never eat breakfast because it is against my religious beliefs to eat before you pray. And so I almost never eat breakfast. And by the time I finish praying, like whatever the day is, I'll wait till lunch. Fine. But the other day I was craving like an egg and cheese bagel, a simple egg and cheese bagel that I have gotten many times before at this
Not that
particular establishment.
complicated.
It is not complicated. It's a very common breakfast item. And this particular establishment, whose name I will not mention, has made many times before. So I go in there and I ask for it. And she says to me, "Oh, we don't make those anymore." I was like, "What do you mean you don't make those anymore?"
Did they run out of cheese?
Forget the. I mean, you
Eggs.
make bagels, you make eggs,
Yep.
you have cheese. What is the difficulty in making a sandwich?
Did you get a explanation?
No, I got no. She said, well, in lieu of explanation, she says, "Oh, we have this other breakfast platter you can buy, which has all of the components, but you
it
can put
still
it
had
together
eggs.
yourself."
Okay, I was
Right?
wondering if it was the
Yeah.
price of eggs.
No. It had the eggs, it had the bagel, it had the cheese, and it came with like a drink, but you had to put it together yourself.
DIY.
I was like, I'm not.
Dumb.
It was dumb, and I was really angry about it. And I was like,
As you should be.
I have
Yeah.
been eating this particular sandwich at this place for years, literally years. And now I'm super annoyed by it. I know there's another place I can go and find. That's probably what I will do. I almost never get this particular craving, but like that day, I just really wanted it.
Is the other place the place that I prefer to go to?
I
When
think
have
maybe.
Mhm.
And I just like I really wanted
You know
it,
who you are.
and I didn't get it, and it ruined my whole day. Like my whole day was then completely like ruined, and I was very angry about it, and it was quite the shanda.
It is a Shonda, indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jill.
You're up.
My Shonda is customer service and kindness to customers related. The other day, I was taking my car in for service, and
Do you want to give a plug?
no.
What happened to your car?
This would be a lot of negative plugs today.
1,000-mile check. And I'm very loyal. So we have bought,
Oh, I know where you go.
since David and I have been together, we've probably purchased 8 cars from the same dealership in Glenburg.
All right, yeah. Nice.
And we're very loyal. And we get our cars serviced at the dealership.
I
We
do the same
knew
thing.
The former owners of the dealership. It felt right to us, even though it was like, you shouldn't go to the dealership because they're more expensive, blah, blah, blah. But
Not
then-
true.
Right.
Not true.
But there isn't, right. So I went on Friday, I pulled into the bay, and I got out of my car, and this Fabis lady looks at me, and I said, "Hi, I'm Jill Suffel. I'm dropping my car off," and she, "Spell your last name." I spelled it, and she looks at me, she says, "Is this your first time here?" And I thought she was joking. I'm like, "You're funny," like, because the other people like know us.
And
now.
she's
Even
still
if she's
Fabis?
new, look at the
And
records.
she's still angry. I'm like, she's staring at a computer. She was so not nice.
Mm.
So I walked away, and David was on his way to pick me up because it was Glen Burnie, and my service was the next morning. So we were leaving my car there, and I called him, and he's like, "All right, I'll be there in 5 minutes." And then he came in, and he was talking to this lady, and she kept looking at David, and she was saying, "She said this. She said this," pointing at me.
Rude.
I said, "She's right here, and she is now leaving with her car." I
So
got
you
in my
left.
car, and I left.
Good.
And David, the manager, came out, and David said to the manager, my wife gets along with everyone. If there
Yes,
was
you
a
do.
brick wall in front of her, that brick
That's
wall
true.
would be her best friend.
Correct.
And coming for dinner next Thursday.
Correct.
Yeah.
It was like, so something really must have like set her off. And he's like, "Well, we won't charge you for the." And
I think you
said
missed
to
an
David,
opportunity.
I'd rather pay the $160 at the dealership on Reisterstown Road.
So
than
you
come
won't be
here."
going back.
Well, not so now.
Oh,
I'm-
yeah,
I'm-
there you go.
Now I'm loyal to a different dealership.
Did you write an angry letter to explain it?
You should.
You should.
You should follow up
You
with.
definitely should.
I'm going to follow up with
Let
George.
Ben and I write it for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, seriously, like it's a good thing to do because
The
like,
company should
they
know
should
that they
know,
lost your
and
business.
it'll be on file. And here's why.
Okay.
You know, and
I
maybe,
do that all the time.
But then
Not
I started-
nasty.
then I
No,
started
not
to
nasty,
think-
but maybe it'll change that lady's.
But then I started to think maybe
Employment?
I overreacted.
Or-
No,
That
you didn't
I was, like,
overreact.
No, you
gaslighting a
did not.
little
No,
bit,
no,
but
no, no, no,
I
no,
was-
no.
And I left, and I went to another dealership right on Reisterstown Road, who, by the way, rescued me when my battery died, that dealership.
Mm.
And I felt like they deserved my business. They could not have been more accommodating and
That's
nice,
great.
and it was great.
You should really.
See, I've always
reach out.
been like a believer in paying for quality, and
Right, you
customer
get, and you
service
do get what you pay for.
makes a big difference. And if I have a bad customer service experience, I will also likewise
Yeah.
change my habit. If
I'm
I need
the
It's
to.
not
same.
that hard to be nice. It really isn't.
It's not. It's so
But
not.
It's not just I'm already paying more
Yeah.
than I would pay somewhere else. So give me something. And the only thing I'm asking for is a good experience. I actually, at the dealership years and years and years ago, they were doing just a regular service like you probably were. And I guess it was a new technician that was doing the service. So when they came out, they come out at the end and get you in the waiting room. And I'm like, wow, that was quick. And the guy just kind of looked down. Not the technician, the guy that's, your person that helps you throughout it. I'm like, what do I need? And he's like, well, we dropped your car off the lift. No joke. And it's the same.
They're buying you a new car.
I had the same car then that I have now. Same type of car that you guys know I drive. It's not the same car. This was years. And I said, pardon me? And look, it had Ben's face. It was my face. I said, what do you mean it came off the lift? Well, we were put and they really didn't have an answer at that. So at that point, without even asking, and I'm like, do I get to pick what rental car I'm going to use from you? Like what? So they start, and I said, oh no, I need something new to ride around in. And
comparable to the car that they ruined.
it turned out that the damage, I guess, wasn't as bad as I thought because it wasn't all the way up on the lift when it came. But still,
That's not the point.
Wait, this is the same dealership. They got in an accident with my car about 3 years ago, and I
remember that.
Not have been nicer.
I remember that. You were
I
very
was
magnanimous.
right, and that's how I was with
Please
this.
don't fire them. It was an accident. We all get. Just give me a car to drive until my car is ready,
Right.
and that's all I'm asking.
And that's
The
all I
same
did.
Car that I have. But yep, right. And I was so nice about it.
And to not be charged for the extra damage.
Right.
And
Oh
you
yeah.
should have
They-
also,
Definitely
you,
not.
You also should have gotten from their insurance company because the value of your car.
I remember
Because
this
when you
when
get
that
an
happened to you.
I want to say it was leased at the time, so
Oh.
and it was leased through them. So
Okay.
I'm in a different point in my life now, where maybe now I would have asked for even more. But back then, I was like, look, I want a nice rental car,
I
a
own this
new
car,
rental
so when I
car.
go to sell it, it will have been in an accident that was not my fault. So I wanted the depreciation value.
Mm-hmm.
Did
sense.
anybody ever watch King of the Hill?
My children.
Sporadically.
Great show.
Hank Hill, right?
Yeah. So Hank Hill is like this super straight-laced
Right.
Texan man who does everything sort of by the book. There's a hilarious episode where they need to buy a new car, and he has the same thing, super loyal,
Right.
same salesman every time they go, and it's like,
That's us.
and Hank is like, I have a relationship with the salesman, and he always gives me a great deal. And Peggy, his wife, is usually sort of off to the side, and he doesn't let her do a lot, but she decides she's going to go and buy the car. So she comes up and she gets the negotiation, the great deal, gets the price down to whatever is like a good thing, and they laugh, shake hands, and it's great. And then Hank comes and he looks at the thing, he's like, oh, this won't do at all. And he goes back in there and he's like, we have the secret deal. So he goes back in, walks out, same thing, smile, seal the deal. And you know what the secret was?
What?
He pays sticker price. Every time he paid sticker price for the car. And it's poor Peggy, the wife, is just like, oh my God, how did you, all these years you've been paying sticker price for the car? It's a hilarious episode. Anyways, great show. Good times. What was that?
I just heard a loud noise. All right. Hey,
Our
that,
building
We're all
is pretty
good.
old and
Let's
haunted,
go.
so it's okay.
all right. Well, on that note, we'll do a quick outro. Ben, talk fast.
All right. Since it's haunted, you've been listening to Havdalah Happy Hour here on the Beth Podcast Network. Rabbi Loeb, not up top. You can find all of our shows wherever you go to listen to your favorite podcasts or on the congregation's YouTube channel. Remember to follow us on all our social media platforms, including but not limited to Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Just search Beth El Balto. Jeremy, put down that cup. Do not drink it. Shavua Tov, everybody. Stay healthy. Be well.